everybody, it's the Mad Master here. I'm doing a video instead of singing King Diamond in my car like I've been doing a lot. I'm actually doing a video again. So this video is about misanthropy and the paradox of being misanthropic and just trying to be like a more social person and better with women and stuff, especially. So I can't say that. Anyways, never mind. So I just wanted to talk about this subject because I early on in my my like adulthood, I'm not going to include all of my friends are like this, because most of my friends, like not most of my friends, some of my friends have been like very much like an amiable person. Like I'm speaking specifically of one person right now, one of my best friends, through life, has been actually pretty amiable and non-political, and he's married, and he's a life, and he's doing his thing. So I'm not going to talk about him included in that, even though he's in the same social circle a lot of the time. So it's interesting to see, like attracts like, or whatever you can say, or well, maybe he has some of those ideas too, or just interests are similar. Of course, that's the truth. Movies and music and stuff like that. So some of the friends that I've made through life have had a lot of social challenges and issues, and that lead, that turns into this misanthropic kind of hateful type of person that, and I'm the same type of person, honestly. Like, I'm a very misanthropic, I've been very hateful in the past. I alluded to that, in some videos about, being very anti-Republican and right-wing and stuff in the past. Like, when you're a young person into politics like that, you're going to be like, oh, I hate Republicans, kill them all, man, they're just scum, or they're just evil, dumb hicks, And I was guilty of that as a young man. I said that kind of stuff. So this isn't only a political thing, though. This is like, I'll just give an example. I posted like a Huck Tao meme or whatever, and he's like, I hate people. There's a person that I know, and he doesn't watch my videos, so I don't think he'll care. The person I know reacted like, I hate those types of girls, and it's like, when I was trying to get into like the pickup artist scene and stuff, it's like, I hate those bars. Those people are stupid. Yeah, people are like that about like going to a bar that is full of people that like sports, or they were picked on in school and they were weird and goth or whatever. Then they don't want to go to these types of bars to get better with women. But as people are people, I'm not. It's an aesthetic choice not to go to those types of bars, in my opinion. Oh yeah, that's just not my type of thing. You could say something like that. But to say, oh my God, those types of girls are terrible. They're so this misanthropic kind of attitude that people have, and mental health kind of things. And I'm not going to throw anybody. I'm trying not to throw people under the bus, but you can look at the people that have not been as, maybe ostensibly, maybe they get it out in their music or their art or something like that, misanthropy, but they're very genuinely like amicable people in the rest of their life. Maybe they use these things as a catharsis, much like I use these videos kind of as a catharsis. And their success is a lot more than at least some of these misanthropic people, that are complaining about people or always talking shit about other people, and just like, and I'm not talking about, there are people that I know that are misanthropic, and it's kind of a joke though, like that's a little bit better, I'd say. They do it with a smile on their face, at least, but there are people that I know that are just miserable, like actually miserable people. And it's like, the strongest people I know are not on social media all the time. For one, I'm on social media all the time, I'll just be honest. They're not complaining about things. They're not complaining about people all the time, in that way. Maybe, maybe they like to crack jokes, but like, they're not as miserable as these people that are super misanthropic and just like they're a victim of, you know, and then also a lot of times they're victims too. So someone else is to blame, you know. Like, that's one thing that I pride myself on. I'm just going to say it right out clear for everybody to hear. I pride myself on the fact that I know I'm responsible for a lot of what's happened in my life. It's not some like law of attraction, the secret kind of thing either. It's like just choices that I've made, attitudes that I've adopted. At this point, I'm an adult and I should be able to handle things. So this misanthropic thing, I'm going to disavow a lot of what it's been about and what it is, and because it's really affected my life. Making friends with people, and I'm not blaming them. It's my, you know, it's my attitude as a young man was like, oh, fuck normies and stuff like that. And I'm not saying there's not room. I'm not saying that there's no room for that kind of attitude ever, like, or that it's not fun to have that attitude sometimes, like as a fun thing. But I'm just saying that it's counterproductive to go through life having that attitude. Go through, like, the most of your life is about how, you know, you know, and I just don't see it as a good thing. And it's I'm going to say this right now, and this is going to be controversial, but it's a very left-wing attitude to have. Like, people are terrible, like the average person is terrible, and I'm enlightened, I'm a liberal, I'm better, you know, because I care about the planet and whatever. And it's very dangerous to have those types of attitudes, because it leads to things in the end that are tyrannical. That's just a fact. Like Pol Pot or something. Like, oh, I'm the great, you know, people with glasses need to perish, you know. Hopefully not gargoyle sunglasses, but, you know. So, like, those are the pair I'm wearing. But, you know, it's like, people with glasses need to perish. The bourgeoisie need to perish, or, you know, the J word people need to perish, because I'm better. I'm enlightened. I know more. When you hear someone that says they're enlightened and then they hate people and then they hate themselves, it's just a recipe for lifelong disaster in their life. Like, I don't think people realize how much they fuck themselves over with having these attitudes. It leads to a lot of things that are bad. I mean, having a positive attitude, it sounds like just basic 101 fucking, like, think and grow rich kind of Napoleon Hill bullshit, but it's absolutely true, at least on a certain level, that if you go through life with a negative attitude and misanthropic attitude, you're going to suffer from it. You know, you may be 45 years old or 46 and never been married, had multiple relationships and had multiple girlfriends, but always are sticking something in the pin of what went wrong, you know. Oh, I didn't like this about this girl. Oh, this girl, it would never worked out. I've known people like this. And people watching this video probably know who I'm talking about, unfortunately. You know, complain about things and then fuck their friends, ex-girlfriends, and sisters and stuff too, by the way. I don't give a shit. I'm just gonna fucking lay it out on the line. And, you know, and just complain constantly about, you know, the women they're with, or women they've been with, or even friends women that have been married and stuff. Like, oh, I don't know how you can handle that. It's like, fuck off, dude. Who do you think you are? Are you a psychiatrist that knows, like, how attraction works and, like, or not relationships work, you know, or people that are so environmentally, like, conscious that they become misanthropes, like, oh, the stupid useless eater humans, yeah, that's what's causing the problem, I hate people. Fuck off, you know. It's like this misanthropy, this, and misogyny probably, and with the previous example, and to some extent too, you don't fucking, god damn, I'm just pissed, you know. And I don't know if I should do this video, but I'm just gonna do it. And you can watch through my history, and I've talked about these things before, but this misanthropy, and people that know me probably might know who I'm talking about, but I'm just saying, like, just why I don't know what this is going to accomplish, but it's like these attitudes, just, you've got to be grateful for what you have. First of all, especially if you've been in 30, if you've had, more than 10 women in your life, or more than 6, the average male. You should be grateful for your friends and family that care about you and stuff, and don't fucking be an asshole about it. And I hate myself, I hate my life and my family. That's talking about myself, because sometimes I've been, ungrateful and shit too. So, as well. So just this whole idea, this misanthropic kind of self-hating bullshit. And I'm just realizing this now. Like, I feel like a lot of times I've been, I've had friends. So when I got into like some of the manosphere stuff, a lot of it was about this is why I kind of drifted away from certain people. And of course, I didn't do the right stuff to get successful in that whole project. I never did, and I don't know if I ever will or not, but when I drifted apart from those people, I was hanging out with people that were going to more clubs and stuff a little bit, and I'm not into that now, but I was trying to get better with that stuff and trying to expose myself to things that I wasn't as familiar with and probably hated. I worked at a nightclub as a bouncer for 6 months as well, and the douchiest auto-tune nightclub in town, probably. I mean, it was an experience, and I'm not saying that that's a good thing or bad thing. I kind of drifted away from some of these people because, I like watching movies and, stuff like that, but it's just like, I wanted more excitement in my life and stuff, and just to go to these types of environments and just go out there and do these types of things were more exciting to me. And they still actually going out and trying to find women and stuff is still such an exciting thing to postulate about doing or being successful at it. Is just going out there and just joking around and going about the town is fun too. Actually, it's funner than just sitting around and shit. So these people, and I'm just saying, like, it became too safe to be with some of these people. It's too safe and too annoying with all the misanthropy and all the complaining and all this bullshit. And I'm throwing these people under the bus. I don't give a fuck, It just became, and some of them are kind of successful in music and stuff too. Now, they have done. I was missing some of those components too. I wasn't going to enough local shows and stuff, and I realize that now that I missed out on some of the music scene in this town. So that's part of it too. Like the quotient went I went a little too far in the other direction, and it's like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I guess I'm talking about people, but like what I'm trying to say is like the misanthropic people that I used to attract as far as relationships, even relationships too, maybe not my last one, but like some of the women I've been with, like they just were like, oh, I'm just gonna stay, I don't like going out, or I'm just gonna, I hate people, or super like, well, one of them was kind of autistic, basically, I'll just be honest. But like, not my last girlfriend, and not my last long-term girlfriend. She was kind of pretty fucked up, but in other ways, probably pushed it the other direction a little too far, if you know what I mean. Talked about that before. Not that she was like super social all the time, but like, I don't know. She was just too into drugs and alcohol and stuff, like, and bad shit. It's kind of the extreme end of like the social thing, but like maybe not as balanced, because I mean, we didn't really hang out with a lot of people. We didn't hang out with people hardly at all, just us. So I don't know. It's a weird dichotomy there. I don't know if she was like, but yeah, I've attracted a lot of those types too, and I'm just sick of like this unhealthy thing too, like this unhealthy, like, just, I don't know, it's not weight, but like, I just, this just self-hating, like this thing I grew up with, and like this misanthropic, like metalhead, like dark, depressing, like fuck everybody, it has its place, right? It has its place, and I'm fine with some of it, but if that's the status quo all the time, it gets old. if it's done if it manifests itself in this way that I'm talking about, that, just stay at home, complain about people, complain about your girlfriends or your ex-girlfriends, or that you're not getting girlfriends, just focus on the negative, this misanthropy. Oh, people are all fucked. Yeah, maybe they're fucked, but they're people, you gotta, I guess, what I'm trying to say is, like, maybe you have to force yourself not to be. Sometimes you have to force yourself to not be misanthropic. It's really hard, but to get better in life, sometimes you just gotta fucking bite the bullet, so to speak. Not hear the bullet. No, just making a little joke there. Sorry, I couldn't resist, dude. I couldn't resist. But like, you just have to, like, put up with normalcy sometimes. Sometimes it's good to have, like, a bridge to normalcy, or like an ally in normalcy a little bit. Part of the reason why I cut my hair actually is because, like, well, there's a lot of reasons for that, but it's like I was starting to look kind of just like it's like I like to have an edge, but like an edge that's like a little bit more like appealing edge, has a cult, at least has a cult following, not it's just like totally like slam the door in the face kind of edge, which some of the time in my life I've had. It sucks. I'd rather have a cult following than nobody at all, in life. I don't know what I'm rambling about now, but motherfuck, this misanthropy, and this is environmentalists too. Like, oh, humans are so terrible, and I just talked about that. But like, one of my friends thought we would be, the methane bubble burst or whatever the fuck it was called was going to happen like 5-10 years ago. And they were like, and this is kind of, maybe this is similar to a lot of the stuff I've talked about. Like, my song End Times by Pathless Land is about a person that is a Christian that wants, or an environmentalist, or a doomsayer, a black pill doomsayer person that wants subconsciously for the end to happen, because they will be right and self-righteous and smug and correct in their proposition that the end is coming. I am thankful that some of my friends, even if those in some of the conspiratorial shit, have been like, no, that doesn't sound right. Like, I'm glad for the skepticism that I get now, because if I had people that were just fucking saying, oh yeah, Gordon White is correct in predicting World War III in the next 3 years, I'd be like, oh, or World War, or a nuclear war. It's like, holy shit, yeah, I mean, that'd be fucked up. But anyways, I'm blabbing about that stuff. But yeah, this misanthropic reasoning of life that people have, that I've known, that they're Christian, or they're into some kind of, either they're Christian or they're into some subcult liberal kind of thing. Liberalism does come from Christianity, a lot of it. Like the whole it's hard to explain this concept. Other people have had it. Ayn Rand has talked about this too, or similar philosophers have talked about this whole idea, I believe. And Nietzsche might have talked about it too. Like, just, there is a certain Christian element to that, and just like this, an undercurrent of a lot of Christianity and liberalism, or at least leftism, is misanthropy, and it is hatred of humanity in general. And it's fine to have misanthropy. It's fine if you that's my natural reaction, is fuck people and stuff. But like, well, I do want to fuck people, but just one sex. Anyways, one sex of people. But anyways, that was just a joke. That was a joke. So yeah, I don't believe in this misanthropy that people are so cued into. And I've made friends too many. These friends probably, I wouldn't say these friends drag me down, because I was responsible. Like I talk about, like, I'm really into like the late 90s right now. Like that part of my life was so fucking cool, discovering all this new music and new cultural stuff. But one of the big gaps was me with not getting in relationships with women. And some of my friends could play both games. They could be in all this weird metal and stuff and still get women and stuff, and I wasn't doing that. And that's one missing piece, so to speak. That if that would have been the case, then that would have been like the best time of my life ever, and I would always remember that period of time. And I do think it was one of the best parts of my life, but it wasn't good enough. So this whole thing, like this whole thing that misanthropy, I mean, these people, and some of these people have not done so well with women the last few years. That's another thing. And why is that? Oh, well, maybe these mental habits and mental conditions caught up to them in some ways. This is my opinion. Yeah, getting older sucks too, you know, with all that stuff, naturally. But there's still people that I know who have relationships that are my age or are in a similar type of subcultural context, you know, but some of these people haven't done so well. And it's not just because, and I've talked about some of these types of people before, they'll have these age restrictions and stuff, and like, I don't want to be with someone more than 5 years younger than me, or, you know, it's like, I want to be with a woman, not a girl. It's like you're limiting yourself, just as I'm limiting myself by not wanting to be with women my age. In the past, I've said some things like that. And now, you know, there was a woman last year that I really liked that was around my age, and I was just like, well, there's exceptions. I'm not going to make that rule anymore. It's fucking stupid. But of course, I kind of want children, so that does kind of make it a little different. But, you know, this whole misanthropy will lead to things like loneliness in your later life and stuff. If you don't get a handle on it, at least focus it in a way that you can, you know, get up and laugh in the morning about it. Or, you know, if you're doing like if you're pursuing this lifestyle of misanthropy, at least, I mean, like, not a lifestyle of misanthropy, but harbor misanthropy, at least focus it in on something creative that you're doing. And then at the end of the day, you're not as misanthropic, but you have it in this focused, compartmentalized way. And that's what I'm saying. It's fucking horrible. And I'm sick of it. Oh, we can't go to there because there's too many people. Oh, we can't do this. Oh, I hate people. I just want to be alone. You know, it's fucking lonely living a life of misanthropy so long that you have to really force yourself to really start to try to put up with shit. You know, I was so crazy as a youth. This is an example. This is the last example. I'm gonna close this video because my battery's going. This is an example of how crazy it got for me. It's like when I was 20 years old, I wouldn't date anybody that didn't like. I'm not going to say didn't like Manowar, but didn't like metal. I confused my memory. My memory is confused. I said didn't like Manowar, and if they subscribed to Cosmopolitan, I wouldn't date them. And all these weird conditions and shit like that. And that's not to mean that most of the girls that I date don't like, at least appreciate metal or don't hate it, you know? Because most of them do appreciate metal because they know I like metal. So it's like, they're not going to, I don't know. You know, some of them hate, some of them like, most women under, you know, a certain age like at least one or two metal bands now. Just to say that. If they're like a Generation X, like 45 or like 50-year-old, you know, they're not going to fucking like necessarily even admit to liking metal, but like women under the age of like 40 will, oh, I like this song by this band, you know, because people are more eclectic in general, younger people, even if they're less passionate about music in some ways. So this is like the streaming thing, right? So the younger people. So, but I used to be like, no girls that don't like metal. And that's part of this like self-hating misanthropy that I fucking, you know, grew up with. And I mean, I probably grew up with it to some extent too. I'm not going to talk about who was involved in that, but I'm just saying this just hatred of people's hatred of just people and yourself and certain things in life. It leads to a lifetime of loneliness. That's about all.